Day 16. I woke up before the world woke up. The cold of dawn was still embedded in the concrete, and for a moment I thought it was just one more of those huge silences the city had been throwing at us in the last few days. Silences that feel alive, as if they're waiting for someone to take a deep breath so they can bite. But it wasn't total silence. There was a sound. A sound so low you couldn't hear it with your ears. You could only feel it. A tremor, a pulse, an inner echo. And the first thing I noticed was the speaker. He was sitting in the darkest corner of the room, knees hugged to his chest, head tilted back, but eyes open. His mouth was trembling. His lips moved on their own, no sound, until they did. Tick, tick, tick. 3 clicks, low, precise, like droplets of water falling inside the soul. Clicks that came from inside him, not from outside. The woman woke up almost at the same time, hollow eyes slowly unsticking, as if she'd heard it in a dream. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. "I didn't hear it," I answered. "I felt it." She got up slowly, clutching her husband's notebook as if the air itself could steal it. "Is he activating?" I asked. She stayed silent, and sometimes silence is an answer. We moved closer, cautiously. The speaker was breathing deeply, but every exhale came with a tiny sound, as if there were another voice trying to come out along with his. It wasn't just a click, it wasn't just a breath. It was almost a second voice track embedded there. He murmured, "No, no, I don't want." The sentence was cut off as his body went into a spasm. Nothing violent, nothing like a horror movie. It was worse. It was too subtle, like he was trying to stay perfectly still while something inside him shifted into place. The woman grabbed his arm. "Hey, look at me." He choked, "I thought I'd forgotten." "Forgotten what?" I asked. "The voice, his voice." He closed his eyes. "But the voice was never his, it was ours." "What do you mean, ours?" "He only gives back what he took, he just repeats the fear." He took a deep breath, chest heaving. "The caller is our own fear given back to us." The woman looked at me like she'd just heard something impossible. "Are you saying he replicates emotions?" "He doesn't just replicate," the speaker muttered. "He feeds on them." Then came the first real audible sound. A short, thick vibration that felt like it came from his diaphragm. It wasn't a full double low, it was half. A single low note, but so deep it made my teeth vibrate. The woman swallowed hard. "He's turning into an echo," the speaker finished. "I'm becoming an echo again." And that couldn't happen. Some monsters don't bite the body, they bite the memory. The first thing I did was look through the half-covered window. The world outside was still, too still. The cold had frozen the lower part of the streets, leaving a thin mist hanging close to the ground. No infected, no red vests, no human groups causing trouble. Nothing. It was like the whole neighborhood was holding its breath. The woman muttered, "This isn't a coincidence." "What?" "When he starts to change, the rest goes silent." The idea cut through me like a knife. "You're saying this here," I pointed at the speaker, "is connected to them?" "It is," she answered without hesitation. "They listen to this kind of transmission." The word transmission hit like a stone in water. The speaker tried to stand, stumbled and dropped to his knees. Don't let the voice out. Don't let him use." The woman held his shoulders, firm, like someone holding a person at the edge of an invisible cliff. "Look at me." "I can't," he whispered. "Someone's calling me." I started scanning around, searching for signs, noises, anything. Nothing. Until I heard it. Not with my ears, with my chest. A distant echo. An underground echo. A slow call. An incomplete double low. Thum, thum. Like someone, somewhere, had just noticed a piece was waking up here. It was like tracking, like the speaker had become an involuntary beacon. If this kept going, the infected, or worse, the caller, would find us. We needed to contain, we needed to stop it, we needed to isolate him from himself. It was the woman who said it. We need to tie him up. I hesitated. He's ours. He's been helping us. That's exactly why we need to stop him from turning into a live antenna. I looked at the speaker. He was shaking his head from side to side, mumbling broken words. I don't want to be a door. Don't want to be a door again. Door. That word hit hard. The woman finished. He's been used for this before. That's how the caller finds people. Through them? Through anyone who can't shut their mind at the right time. We grabbed ropes, strips of fabric, whatever we could find. We tied his wrists carefully, then his ankles. Not to brutalize him, but to stop involuntary movements in case his body got used again. He didn't resist. If anything, he seemed relieved. "Thank you," he murmured. "Thank you for not letting me become a channel." Channel, door, echo. It all had a twisted but coherent logic. When we finished tying him, I noticed he was staring at the wall. At one specific corner of the wall. "What's there?" I asked. He answered in a thin voice. "He's there." The woman froze. I looked at the spot he pointed. Nothing, just shadow. "The caller is looking at me." "He's far away," I said. "He can't be here." "He doesn't need to be," the speaker whispered. The woman added, "He just needs you to think about him." And in that instant, I felt something far too dangerous to explain, because I was thinking about him too. Don't think about what's hunting you. Thinking is calling. The speaker started breathing in a strange way. Short inhales, long exhales, like he was blowing on a candle that wouldn't go out. "I can feel him here," he whispered, touching his chest with his chin since his hands were tied. "What does he want?" I asked. "He wants me to repeat." "Repeat what?" He closed his eyes. The sound came. Not exactly from him. It was like something inside him was scraping against his throat, looking for a way out. The sound came out rough, deep, uneven. His chest vibrated. The woman put her hand on mine. I felt the vibration too. "That's half of the double low," she said, horrified. "He's being tuned." Tuned? Trained. Adjusted. Like an instrument. Like an antenna. The speaker opened his eyes, tears running down his face. "I don't want to become his voice. I don't want to. I don't want to." The woman hugged him from the side, pinning his head against her shoulder. "We're not going to let that happen." But it was a lie, and all three of us knew it. Because the transformation doesn't come from outside. It comes from inside. It's emotional. It's neural. It's mimetic. And worse, it's remembered, not taught. Right before sunrise, it happened. It was quick, almost silent, but I felt it. It was like someone had reached into my skull and pulled an invisible thread. The speaker arched his body, mouth open, but no sound. Then, a perfect low note came out of his chest. It didn't pass through his throat, it didn't leave through his mouth, but it echoed through the room. A short double low, like a signature. Thum, thum. My stomach flipped. The woman dropped to her knees. The speaker rolled to the side, gasping. He knows where we are," he whispered. I tried to be rational, tried to think logically. "How would he know?" I asked. The speaker answered in a breathless whisper. "I told him." The woman's eyes widened. "When?" "Just now." "How?" "Thinking." I understood. The caller doesn't need us to speak, doesn't need us to touch, doesn't need us to run. He needs something else. Simple, ancient, involuntary. Fear. Fear opens cracks in the mind. Cracks turn into channels. Channels turn into invitations. Invitations turn into location. The speaker cried, defeated. I was the door. Some invasions don't break windows or kick down doors. They come through the thought you couldn't control. When the sun started forcing the sky to brighten, the city responded. Not with screams, not with hordes, with silence. The kind of silence that comes before an ambush. The kind of silence that feels like intention. I ran to the window, opened just a slit in the dark curtain. The infected were standing, all of them, at different distances, in different poses, on different sides of the street, like dead streetlights, waiting. The woman came up beside me. They're not looking at us. Then what? They're waiting for the second sound. My heart froze. And where does that sound come from? She looked back, at the speaker. He lifted his head slowly, like he'd heard the question inside his skull. From me. The woman took the lead. We have to get out of here now. Move? I asked, with them like that? If we stay, he'll give us away. He doesn't want to. It doesn't matter what he wants. It matters what he's capable of doing. The speaker curled in on himself like he'd been hit. I can fight it. The woman answered too fast. No, you can lose. I stood between the two. I felt the weight of that moment in my chest. We were judging someone for something he hadn't done, but could do by accident. He cried like someone who's already been broken and is starting to break again. Please, don't leave me alone. We won't, the woman said, but until this thing lets go of you, we're the ones who have to hold you. His last sentence before we left was almost a child's whisper. He wants me to call you too. When the enemy tries to use someone in your group as a weapon, you don't fight the person, you fight the use. We slipped out the back door, moving slowly through shadows, trying not to make sound, smell, trace. The speaker came tied, leaning on my shoulder. Every step he took seemed to bring an echo from inside, like his body wanted to speak on its own. But he fought. He fought the whole day. That's why he was still with us. Still. Before night fully fell, we hid in a partially collapsed underground parking lot. The woman scribbled in the notebook. Day 16. The call enters through the mind. Fear opens the channel. Memory is the password. He doesn't look for bodies. He looks for echoes. Then, looking at the speaker sleeping tied up, she added, "He's fighting harder than we are." I closed my eyes and felt something new. It wasn't a double low. It wasn't a click. It wasn't a whistle. It was something trying to get into my thoughts without me noticing. It didn't get in, but it knocked. That's how I realized a terrible truth. The mind is just a house. If you don't reinforce it from the inside, someone else will. Tomorrow is day 17, the place where every hunt begins. And today, we were marked.